Welcome back. You're watching Newslink on eNCA. Well, as mentioned, for the next 14 days, the sale of alcohol, whether for on-site or off-site consumption, is banned, and schools are closing and the curfew has been adjusted. How do people feel about the move to adjusted lockdown level 4? Well, our reporters have been on the ground since early this morning. Let's check in first with Aviwe Mtila. Aviwe, thanks for joining us. You've been up since the crack of dawn. What's the reaction been from the people you've spoken to? You sound like and look like you're at a taxi rank.
Yes, I'm outside a Pretoria taxi rank, eNCA, where I've been having varying voices from the majority of the morning. A lot of people are questioning the livelihoods and asking government to rather go on a huge vaccination drive than go on the adjusted level 4. Some street vendors even suggesting that they haven't had much business in the morning, only making around 100 Rand from when they were up at 6 o'clock. But I just want to catch up with another lady here who sells scones, fat cooks and coffee early in the morning. But we see there's even a gentleman sitting down to have food at her stall. Mama, Nkosazana join us. Tell ngalo level 4, Mama. Izimvo zakho ngalo level 4.
Di mo level 4 ne. But se se leng gona go re gona bya non re a bereka go sona le mehleng. Problem no ba ile gore di customer tsa rena ba tlaetse go nna fa se ba ja. Bya non ke challenge le gore na le yona because of re nya ka chelete. Bya non re no sacrifice gore at least mo tafoleng ya ka go dule batho ba ifo ba dire a social distance.
Okay, thank you, Mama, raising a very crucial issue there, eNCA. Remember, the president said that there are no sit-downs allowed now at the various restaurants and eateries. But this lady suggesting that it's going to be difficult to have that happening, given that she's desperate for money, so she will accommodate that. But I want to get other voices as well, just to find out their thoughts on level 4. Thank you for joining us at the eNCA, Mdomkhulu.
Umengameli wenze kahle ngokuthi avale asibeke ku level 4 because people are dying, abantu aba sanitizer abathatha ama precautions, ngicabanga ukuthi people uma basebenzele ekhaya bahlala ekhaya kuzoba ngcono. This virus we are waiting for a vaccine and then sobona ukuthi izosibeka kuphi, but let's hope ukuthi in future our country izoba safe if we see a vaccine.
Gentlemen saying that the president's doing right because people aren't adhering to the different COVID regulations. Mama, your thoughts around being on adjusted level 4?
Mina ngithi president wenze kahle wasifaka ku level 4. Singabantu kumele silandele umthetho, sisanitize, sifaka ama mask. Singakhohlwa ukuyibeka nayo emkhulekweni, sithandaza uNkulunkulu uzosisiza kuyona. Akungapheli kuyahlola nayo izondlula ngelinye ilanga.
Siyabonga, Mama. The lady saying that this too shall pass, COVID-19, but the president doing well in terms of getting us to the adjusted level 4 because people aren't really adhering to the regulations. I just want to get the final word from you, Siswam. Thank you for joining us at the eNCA, but just your thoughts on being on adjusted level 4 lockdown.
Yeah, Ramaphosa is doing fine. It is okay to be on level 5, but then you must remember that if we are staying on level 4, we need to be at home and there will be hunger. And so we are trying by all means to feed our children. So let him consider at least that support grant for E350 so that he can help us, those who are unemployed like us, to help us to not close at 350. We can be very much pleased. But we thank him for every effort that he has done through this virus.
Okay, thank you very much. This lady there thanking the efforts of the president, but also making a plea, saying that because of the unemployment that this cause, asking for that 350 grant to be back on. Varying voices that we're getting on the streets here, eNCA.
Aviwe, do the taxis seem as busy as they have in previous days? I mean, you've been at several taxi ranks for us last week. And are the taxi owners seemingly compliant?
They are compliant, but they're disgruntled nonetheless. I've had a voice with a number of them just earlier on. They don't want to be on camera per se, but they were quite disgruntled, saying that since last year, in the lockdowns that we had previously last year, one gentleman saying that in August he had to sell his taxi because he couldn't pay those monthly installments that he needed to pay from March, ending up having to sell his taxi, which is his livelihood. And in fact, another complaint around the money that they were supposed to receive, and which the gentleman also went on to say that they haven't received. While they are compliant, they do seem to be disgruntled. But you see the patrons also coming in, but not in the numbers that we've been seeing previously, especially this morning. Especially spoke to some of even the street vendors, which suggests that business hasn't been the same this morning. I mean, another gentleman mentioned how he had hardly made 100 rand. When we spoke to him, it was around 8 o'clock from 6 a.m. when he was up in that street selling those. He was selling sweets at that moment.
Thanks so much, Aviwe, and yeah, keep safe out there. I worry about our reporters because they too are on the front line, and as far as I'm concerned, they really need the vaccine too.